Peace, y'all. What up? Welcome to the live. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. Greetings. Back with another live. Black laws for black liberation for all black people everywhere. Welcome, welcome. Back again on this Tickety Talk. We need our own platform, y'all. I don't like it on here no more. I don't even like coming up here no more. But I got a work to do, raising the consciousness of your people. What up, what up? Today on the board, we're talking about politics. We're talking about politics. It's a political season right now. A lot of politics. Just because you mad don't mean this is meant to make you upset. I just want to say that to whoever needs to hear it. Just because the prompt behind me makes you upset doesn't mean that was my intention. You mad. I'm not. So, we're talking about the allegiance of African Americans, Africans on the continent, Africans in the diaspora, to prioritizing their liberation over false identities, false political ideologies. Your identity is a core part of who we are as a people. Your individual identity makes up our culture. Culture is a mechanism to protect an identity. Culture turns into nationalism when we attach ideology to it and a political agenda. Black people we should have a political agenda. We haven't all come to a consensus because too many of us are brainwashed into false identities. We just seen this in South Africa, where people have been so brainwashed into their South African identity that they don't consider themselves African first and will kick out an African from being in their beauty pageant before they'll kick out colonizers that own most of the wealth in South Africa. The identity that they claim is South African. So identity is a big part of the damage that was done to African people worldwide. Some of us would prefer to prioritize our LGBT identity, another identity given to us by our Western oppressors. Some of us would rather prioritize. Oh wait, hold on. The devil caught a hold of somebody in here. Do I have moderators in here? What's happening right now? Yeah, the devil caught a hold of somebody in my comments. They gotta go. All right. Strawberry cake. I'm gonna make you a moderator. Could you just clean up what needs to be cleaned up? Cause it's gonna stop the speech and all that. So anyway, identity crisis, something that's part of the war waged on Africans because we've been robbed of knowledge of self, a connection to our land, our history, our customs, and our culture. Peace, Bubba. We are so quick to latch on to false identities. Identities such as LGBT, identities such as I'm a man first and a black man second. I'm a woman first. I care more about my womanhood than my race or my people. Um, you know, and if you feel that way, that's fine. Go ahead, feel that way individually. That's on you. But we have to prioritize our liberation at some juncture. Some of us have to prioritize the liberation of all our people. Some people choose to identify as Muslim or Christian before they'll identify as African. We see this type of stuff all the time. Some people, I'm no black, I'm Dominican. You know, I'm not black, I'm biracial. I'm black and white. You hear these identity crises from all these African looking folks. I'm not black. I'm a Democrat. I vote Democrat. You know, I can't get with you guys that don't vote Democrat like me. Oh, I'm a yeehaw. I'm a black Republican. I'm a Christian, so we gotta be pro-Israel. That's where Jesus is from, buddy. And then we got pro-Palestine is something that I think black people caught wind of, that they're being treated like us, and immediately we said, "Oh no, y'all not gonna treat these non-black people like they black. Oh no, we gonna have to put an end to this. Y'all not gonna treat them like us. Y'all can keep treating us like this, but y'all better not treat no one that's not black like they black." You know, it's like kind of doesn't make sense. You put down the hammer building your own house to go build someone else. I don't think that makes sense. People say we can do two things at the same time. I say let's do one thing at a time. How about we focus on the oppressor that's oppressing us? And since it's interconnected, how convenient that us focusing on building with our own people, dismantling our oppressor's grasp on our community, that would also connect to what's going on in Palestine. So we can free Palestine if we just free ourselves. Well, anyway, that might be too nuanced for the internet. Vote non-binary. What does that mean? Peace, smart sister. What's going on?
Ooh. Hey, what's going on with you?
I'm good, Auntie.
Oh, good, good. I'm glad to see your new prompt. I
Yeah.
wonder who else is going to do it. I'm so petty, I told you. Oh, Lord. But what you're saying, as usual, is absolutely right. That's what I've been saying for all my Palestinian folks out there. That's what I've been saying all along too. Is the same oppression. Because see, I've been following this for 20 some years. You know, way back when we were doing anti-apartheid stuff. That's when I looked at the BDS movement, boycott, divest, and sanction, and I was looking at, okay, how can we do the same thing?
Hmm.
You know, it was effective to a degree for them, you know, boycott stuff, divest away from these people, you know, and sanction anybody that's still wanting to work with them. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? The same plan can work for us as well. So I've been doing tech being around that for 20 some years. So it's not new to me. And like you said, that's because we were looking at how do you get rid of the oppressor, period. We both got
Right.
the same one. So let's see. This is working. You know, they would boycott different musicians, you know, that were
Mm-hmm.
trying to come to Israel. You know, they were getting people to divest from companies or that made Israeli product. You know, the same thing, the same way basically we've done the same thing, just we need to step it up a few notches, but it's
Mm-hmm.
the same thing. So like I said, if you new to the game, okay, everybody learns something new all the time, house or never. Like you said, how you gonna jump into that and here you over here getting your head bashed in and you ain't doing a damn thing? Where is your BDS movement here? What are we boycotting? What are we divesting from? Who are
Mm-hmm.
we sanctioning that treats us the wrong way? See, it's the same thing we do. We get all up and on, and you going through the same thing. So what are you doing? And I didn't kind of got into it with some folks on that tip. Like I said, you don't have that same visceral reaction, like I said, when you see a black baby with flying all around his head with a bloated stomach because it's hungry.
Mm.
You know, but I can see a picture of Palestine. Oh my God. Oh Lord. You know what I mean? Lord have mercy. You know, and but you don't have the same thing with your own people. So what's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said everybody, they got to go inside and you look at yourself. What are you doing? What are you feeling? Why are you so for somebody else and not yourself? I don't get it. Something wrong with you, which you know, I already know is intergenerational trauma,
Right.
period, and
Mm-hmm.
anti-blackness together. That's all it is. You know, like you said, you riding a Democratic eggplant, you know what I mean, and got so much to say when that party ain't did nothing for you. It's real simple. It's just basic logic.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is look at it logically. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of this stuff, get out your feelings. Get out your feelings and look at the issue. Look at the rational way any rational person would deal and go from there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
look at I just did a little YouTube little thing today. Look at Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, and DL Hughley
Mm.
riding that eggplant into the ground. Oh, I'm tired of black folk. We can't even if all of us wanted to buy some chicken, one of us gonna go get a hot dog. Cause I'm tired of black. When who gave you your celebrity? Would anybody give a fuck
Mm.
about Ricky Smiley or DL Hughley or Steve Harvey? Who gave them their start in comedy? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? But then you can turn around and then wag your finger at us talking about what black people are and what they not.
Mm.
Stop. You got some of that stuff. I was about to jump through my phone. And that would be hard. Cause they riding that eggplant. I said, well, I hope your bag you getting is fat.
Mm-hmm.
Because this shit y'all saying, come on now. Like, how much money do it take to stay black? I mean, I really would like to know.
Mm.
Because they all sell out, and usually for pennies on the dollar,
Right.
for nothing. What you getting? Okay, you ride. Okay, what you getting? Other than that bag. For real.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. So
S
I'll leave that.
yeah. Yeah. No, it's we're gonna see what happens on Monday. They're having the DNC. We're gonna see probably have Beyonce come out. I'm assuming Beyonce because
Probably.
they did Beyonce's song when she announced. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, my peeps in Chicago gonna give them some hell. I can tell you that. Because
Mm-hmm.
Chicago ran Trump's ass up out of there.
Yeah,
You
Chicago
know what I
don't
mean?
play. Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see, because all them brothers and sisters is pissed about all the immigrants. Oh, baby. And I believe if it's at the United Center or what, it's on the west side, which
Mm-hmm.
is black.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So we gonna see.
Someone in the comments says, "Can you not support Palestine and Black issues at the same time? Why can't our focus go to both?"
You gonna answer?
I mean, you know my answer, but I was going to see what you
Mm-hmm.
was going to say.
Uh, answer. What's the question again?
She said, "I don't even know this person's still here. Can you not support Palestine and Black issues at the same time? Why can't our focus go to both?
The focus should be on your own first.
Mm-hmm.
And the same YT supremacist that's got his foot on your neck is the same foot on their neck. So if you
Mm-hmm.
get them off our neck, like you said, it's automatically gonna go there. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? That's with any ism, racism, sexism, ageism, ism. When we free ourselves, since we are the original man and woman, when we free ourselves from any of them isms, everybody else gonna get it. If they gonna always talk about a lifting tide, a rising tide lifts all boats, then there you go. That's the only
Mm-hmm.
time I use that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we rise, everybody else automatically does. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Palestinians are taking care of themselves. They got Rashida Tlaib. They got in Michigan where they said we ain't committing to nothing, and they wanted 10,000. They got 100,000. Okay, they doing pretty damn well on their own. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I supported. Malcolm supported it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it's with the understanding of knowing they got their fight in their organization to do, just like we do. And when
Right.
we fight for ourselves, they automatically are being helped by
Right.
us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and where is our Congress people that when Sonia Massey got out of line, where were they? You know,
Mm-hmm.
did we pull together and say, hey, you Democrats, Miss Kamala, if you don't come up with some police reform and some this and that, we ain't voting shit. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? We got to get that type of organization. See, they got theirs. They was like, oh, no, y'all doing us? We got to go. Well, we need to look at what are we doing for our own self even.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Yeah.
don't worry about them. They got their stuff together.
Absolutely. 100%.
Mhm.
All right. Her. Give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
I'm 51.
Your race.
I don't have a race.
All right.
I'm just looking at the.
Don't come up here if you don't know your race. We're talking about race. Don't come up
Oh,
here. Hi. Can
You
I have your
gangster.
age, race, and pronouns, please?
oh, I'm 21. I wouldn't say black, but I'm Somali. I'm from Africa
Why wouldn't you say black?
because identifying as black is kind of like it's something that the white people brought on. So I wouldn't say I'm black. I'm African. That's what I would identify as.
There's
What
something
color
wrong
is
with what he
melanin?
said. Is something wrong with what he just said?
Hmm.
Something wrong with what
Nah,
he just said because he said he came from white people, and that's not true because we know the name of ancient Kemet meant black, but
Hmm.
we also know what Ethiopia means. We know what Nubian means. We know what a few different other ethnicities and tribes and people, societies in ancient Africa also
yeah.
called themselves the color black.
I mean,
Just
as
because it's in
Somalis,
English, we
yeah,
understand that white people, gave us the English version of that, but there's a little anti-blackness there. I'm just being honest. But you did identify as African. I can rock
yeah,
with that.
yeah,
Uh, Talk to us.
yeah. I'm kind of like disagreeing with the point. Like with black people, let's say in what do you call it, in America, right? As an African, like in Africa, we don't really like victimize ourselves. You get what I'm saying? Like in Africa, we don't
No
really.
African I would accuse of victimizing themselves. I don't care where they're from, but they are victims, are they not?
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in black people being victims. I think that we're trying to be victims. That's the thing.
Wait, you just said we don't do that. So you're saying we do that? We do victimize ourselves?
In America, yeah, they do victimize themselves 100%.
So you from Africa, but you know all about how African Americans, I'm assuming, are victimizing themselves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in Canada right now, but I came from Africa. I
So
lived my
you're
whole
in
life there.
Canada right now,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
you know you're an expert
Hmm.
on Black Americans and they're victimizing themselves.
I wouldn't really say an expert, but like, I kind of disagree with like the fact that, they really victimize themselves so much.
And why do you disagree with that?
The thing is that, listen, there's been slaves everywhere in the world. There's been white slaves.
I don't want to hear that bullshit. Let's go to the next guest. I know he ain't just say white slaves. Yo, I don't even want to hear that bullshit. Not
I am
today.
so glad you did that. Oh
We
my
moving on.
God.
I know he
Thank you,
just
sir.
said there were white slaves. Somalia, y'all brothers is lost. All
Why
right.
did you let him go, man?
Come on, man. He talking about
So,
white slaves, man. What are we talking about?
can I comment on? Can I comment on that point? There
Give
were
it
no
well
white slaves. There were Irish. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
before you do that, you gotta give us your age, race, and pronouns.
I am 40. I am blackety black, and I am she her.
All right, talk to us.
So, as far as white people being slaves, the Irish were indentured servants. They were, they were slaves, but it wasn't slaves as though chattel slavery. It was because you stole something. You went in somebody's house and, you might have beat on somebody. You were a prisoner. And once you were freed, you were allowed to go back to your family. You were allowed to be an overseer. You were allowed to join the bounty hunters to chase after slaves, the kidnapped individuals,
Right, yeah.
because they were kidnapped. So I don't understand why can't nobody understand that. It's really simple. Chattel slavery was the longest of its kind in the world. So for anybody, it's literally a Google search, literally. And to be exact, it was a case of slavery in North Carolina just maybe less than 5 years ago, where a disabled man was chained to a table in a diner, and a white man had him working there for free.
Yeah.
So to those who say slavery is over, get over it, it's not.
Oh, far from
It's
over.
not.
Yeah.
It's not. They have
even in
it's
East
more
Africa,
black
where he's
people.
from.
Exactly. Why, for him to say that there's no victims in Africa, sir? What's happening in Congo is nothing but victimization. Are you serious? They are all victims, literally, literally. And for him to dismiss that lets me know that the white people have got to. I'm sorry, the YT people have gotten to him, and he's probably one of the Africans who praised them. I hate to say it, and I don't mean to be, the R word in any kind of way, because I love my black people from all over the world, but some of them are ignorant. Some of them are blind, completely blind. How
Girl,
do
he
you
done got to
praise?
Canada and got some little French Canadian snow bunny, and
I'm
he
saying
eating
it.
crepes
I'm
and
saying
shit,
it.
and
I'm
thinking
saying it
he
because
really.
it trips me out. I work around a bunch of, African men and women. And for the most part, the ones who are westernized understand the plight. The ones who have been here the longest understand what we go through, because they went through it thinking, with YT people thinking that they are us. Anybody with a darker hue, big lips, big nose, anybody that's different is going to experience racism in a country where it's majority YT, quote unquote. And I don't think that's true either. I honestly don't think they are the majority in this country, but whatever. So, with that being said, it's no excuse to be ignorant. There's no excuse to be ignorant. None whatsoever. You have libraries, you have the internet. Like, it's Easy. Stop being ignorant to what is in front of your face. And for the people who continue to say racism is not happening, it's over, look out your door. Go to your bank with one of your black friends and see if your black friend can get a housing loan from that bank in a white area. Excuse me, YT area. And that's right now. Didn't one of them banks just get sued up the yin yang for them discriminating against black people with loans?
Yeah, I went to Navy Federal, and
Exactly.
they as soon as I showed up, I asked for a loan to get a car, and They asked me for my ID. They pulled out a black light, they'll scan my ID, took it to
For
the
what?
back, talked to they right. I didn't even get to talking about interest rates or nothing. It was just scanning my ID and taking it to the back, making a copy and all this.
So
I
so
told
what
my
you
wife, I
saying?
said, let's go.
So what you saying on so when you looked up, because I'm with Navy Federal too, and when you look up your account, the bottom of the screen usually have how much they would loan you for the car, house, and something else, and it has your interest rates already there.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
yeah, just go on your account and look at the bottom. Look at the bottom, and it has different sections on, like, you can press the actual number, and it'll take you to that section and give you basically a whole bio of everything that's going on. So if they was to give you any other amount than what's on your account at the bottom of that screen, you definitely can squawk about that.
Okay. I
One
gotta
hundred
check it
percent.
out.
100%. Don't let that door close and they think that you don't know. Most people, they don't read the fine print. I'm gonna be one of those. I'm gonna be honest. I'm one of those people. But when it comes down to my money and trying to get money, I'm gonna read the fine print, over the top of the print, under the print, and everything else.
Okay.
So yeah, don't let them. And somebody in the comments just said Wells Fargo as well.
Yeah.
Wasn't Wells Fargo Bank of America? No,
Nah.
I'm sorry. What was the other one? What was the other one that got shut down?
Fleet Bank was Bank of America at one point. Well, Fleet Bank got bought by Bank of America. Fleet back in the 90s.
I know it was a bank that was, because I'm in Baltimore. It was a bank here that it was a real big story. They were denying, like, they were in the center, like in the middle of the hood, for real. One of the first banks to open in the hood. And
Wachovia.
like,
Oh, Wachovia.
there we go. There we go. There we go. They were so, like, it was horrible. It was horrible. Let's say you get paid direct deposit. It goes into your account, right? Now, of course, they know they're gonna take their fees off the top, little $1, $2, whatever. But when your money starts to disappear and nobody can tell you where it went, I'm still going to court for that. Literally. It just keep postponing, keep postponing, keep postponing.
All right.
So
Well,
I'm gonna let you continue with your
yeah.
live, brother.
All right. Appreciate
I
you.
do appreciate you letting me up, but yeah, white people, stop being ignorant. It's really not that. It's really not hard. Google search. Go to a library. Shit, y'all
They
know
ain't
how to
gonna stop.
read the shit.
They ain't gonna
So shit
stop.
is ridiculous.
All right. Next guest, Toddy. What's going on, family?
Hey, what's going on?
Peace.
35, he, him.
All right. Welcome to the live. Talk to us.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to have a couple of words with the guy from Somalia, but anyway, let me just go straight to the situation. I'm trying to understand what people mean when they say they victimized themselves or whatever. What do they actually mean? I don't understand. What they're trying to say, that there's no discrimination, there's no racism. What do you think?
A quote from Harriet Tubman says, hold on. Jamie, you got noise. All right. So, a quote from Harriet Tubman, she said, I freed 1,000 slaves, and I could have freed 1,000 more if they had only known they were slaves.
Yeah.
This is nothing new. Our people have been in denial about their own oppression because it helps them feel included in society. And then also when they say stuff like that, they get, rewards and attaboys from our oppressors. So if I really wanted to make some money on TikTok, I'd come up here saying black people are racist and I'm not oppressed. We're all equal. It's all over. Like, what are you guys mad about? Like,
But it's true though.
Yeah. All right. Jamie, you got to stay muted. We're not talking to you yet. We'll come to you in a moment. So saying all of that, oh my goodness, my white following would increase and I would get a whole bunch of gifts and, yeehaws in my comments. So, that's what happens.
Yeah. I'm from Africa. I was born and raised in Africa. I lived in the States, live now in Europe, and I do have arguments with some people that come from Africa and don't understand what's going on, don't understand the experience of the diaspora, the African diaspora, for example. And I can't understand when they start saying that people victimize themselves, and they can't really explain me why. What do they mean by that? I've been through a lot of, when it comes to racism, I've faced it all. I've been to 17 countries, including Israel. And I can tell you, I think I told you this before, our passport is our skin. That's the first thing. Doesn't matter if you're black, you're born in England. When you travel, your passport is your skin color, period. And this is why the topic is very important. And you also see the reaction. People hate it when when you say that you're black first and then pro-Israeli or Palestine, whatever. People are not used to it. They're used to see black people crying for them. You know, when the Russia-Ukrainian conflict started, people wanted Africans or black people to take sides right away. You know, most Africans actually sympathized with Russia because of the history. You know the history very well. During colonialism, we were more attached to Russia because Russia was not a colonial power. There's a history there. Doesn't mean that we agree with what's going on, but we have a relationship with Russia. You know, and people were very upset about it because they wanted us to be on one side, and that's that. Same thing goes for Israel, Palestine. War going on, horrible, a lot of innocent people. I can't use the word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you know,
J
very
people.
sad, very sad, very sad, very sad. But I don't want to take sides. I would like to know how they treat black people first. You know,
How did they treat black people when they were free? We say free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine. How did Palestine, quote unquote, treat black people when they were free? That's the question.
Yeah.
Are Palestinians just mad that they're not included on white supremacy? Because white supremacy has decided that they want their land? Or are they really in solidarity with those they previously enslaved and have not advocated for reparations from the people that are, quote unquote, their allies, like Saudi Arabia and Iran, you know, where the slavery index is very high. There's 500, over 500,000 enslaved Africans in Iran, and there's even higher in Saudi Arabia.
I mean, Gaza was a port until the 40s.
Right.
It was a slave port.
Right.
Gaza was a slave port until the 40s.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, slave port, slave market. Around the 40s. Yeah. We still have grandchildren of enslaved people.
Right. Still there.
Still there. I mean, how are they treated? So we're not forced. We don't have to take sides. First, we as black people have to see what is going on. Yeah, we know what's going on or whatever, but how do these people treat us first? We don't have to take sides, you know? So yeah, so you will see throughout the life that some people will come up and be super upset when they see the red X before pro-Israel or pro-Palestine. You're gonna feel it, you know? Because the idea is that blacks have to be on somebody's side all the time.
Right.
That's the idea.
Right. Absolutely. We're supposed to pick a side no matter how little it has to do with our own liberation. Thank you for that, Brother Toddy, bringing us some common sense to the live. I'm going to go to the next guest. Jamie V, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
26. Black. I'm a man.
All right, talk to us.
You're not going to like what I got to say.
Then don't say it. Why come up here to say what nobody want to hear?
who is not, maybe you might not like it. Maybe you might not like it or might not want to hear it, but I'm sure a lot of other people would.
Not
Because
people
it's
in
the
this
truth.
life.
How do you know? You don't even know
I
what
know,
I'm going to say. I'm going to say the
well,
sky's blue.
well, I'm saying
You're
that
not going to like it.
I've curated my audience over the past 2.5 years. We have a group of over 900 people off of this app. I'm not really a TikToker. I'm really a person that's putting actions behind my words.
Okay.
So
All right. No, I respect
some of
that.
those people, a lot of those people make up the people watching this.
Okay. So you can't. So
That's
based off.
I'm just explaining why
No,
I
I understand.
know
I got
that
you.
you about to say some bullshit that no one in well,
Oh,
maybe there's a
okay.
few people that's outside or new to the live that might want to hear what you guys say, but if it's gonna be, if you
So
think it's something I'm not gonna want to hear, I'm telling you they definitely
okay.
not gonna want to
All
hear.
right. All right. I got you. So it's going to be some bullshit. You haven't even heard it.
But
And
you said
instead
it
of
was
having,
because you
instead
said
of,
it was gonna be some
okay,
bullshit.
okay, I didn't say that, but
You
instead of
said I wasn't
actually,
gonna like it.
hold
That
on,
makes it some
hold on,
bullshit.
hold on. So instead of actually listening and trying to understand my point of view, you're going to hold on your ground, don't even know what I'm going to say, not have a actual
Instead of
dialogue with
just
me.
saying what you had to say, you said I wasn't going to
Okay.
like it. So when you say I'm not going to like something, I'm going to tell you that's some bullshit. That's like if somebody's about to give you a plate of food and says, you ain't going to like this. Here, you
I'm
want
going to be
some?
like,
I'm going to be like, no, you just said I'm not going to like it. That's going to be some bullshit. You
yeah,
go
but
eat that by yourself.
yeah, but listen, that's different because we're having a conversation here, right? So now I already know where you're going to stand at, right? I'm
You
going to sit
don't
here.
fucking know because you never
You're
said
going to,
what you was gonna say. You done spent
okay.
10 minutes saying
So,
nothing. Say
so
it then. Say it. Say
see, there you
it.
go.
Quit. I'm telling you to say it.
So, okay, relax.
I'm totally relaxed. I just get sick of y'all coming up here with
Who's
some
y'all? Who's y'all?
bullshit.
Who's
Go on,
y'all?
say what you gotta say.
Who's y'all? Okay, let's talk about the black on black crime.
See some bullshit. The first thing out of his
That's
goddamn
the
mouth.
first thing
Here
I
we
know
go.
is some
What
bullshit.
about white on white crime? How about all the serial killers
Oh,
and
how
the
about okay,
unalivers and
okay,
all the ones
all
shooting
right.
up schools
Hold
and
on.
all?
You don't even know what
Really?
I'm talking about. You don't even know what I'm talking
Really?
about. You're assuming. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Get the brother
Hey,
some money and get
hey.
some Panther Paws.
Hey, what's the percentage of black folks in
I
America?
don't give a damn what you trying to say.
Oh, see, that's the
Just say
point.
what you're trying to say. Fuck a statistic. It's a lie, a damn lie, and a statistic. So what
So,
are you
okay, so
saying?
you're
You
not letting
trying
me
to say
talk.
black people are what?
You're
Just
not
say
letting me
that.
talk.
You ain't
Um,
saying shit. Whatever. Here we go.
okay, so you still haven't let me talk.
Oh,
See, there you
you
go.
ain't saying nothing. Go on, say it. Say it.
He's scared.
Say it. Go on, Cletus.
Hey,
Go on,
Kanye West.
Cletus.
Hey, Kanye West, you should probably take off those dreads. Hey, but listen.
Cletus, you ain't in a position to
He
tell
white.
nobody to do
Yo,
a
you white. Yo,
goddamn
show us
thing.
your forehead,
Ain't
Jamie.
he?
Jamie,
He
show us
is.
your show us your forehead, Jamie.
You
Show
want
us
me
your
to?
forehead. Show
All
us your
right.
forehead, Jamie.
I'm a black guy. Why do I
Nah,
have
show
to?
us your
No, you're
forehead.
not.
We need to
Go.
see we need to see your forehead.
All right, listen.
He just said I was Kanye West with locks, and he didn't even say locks. He said dreads. So show us your forehead. Come on.
Okay, I want to ask Smart a question real quick before I do that.
You're not
Smart,
passing the
Oh,
test,
Smart.
bruh.
If I take a
Show us your
brush, hold on.
forehead.
If I take a comb, Smart, and I was to like comb your hair, would the
Show
comb get
us
stuck?
your forehead. I don't want to hear shit
thank
else.
you. What else? Anything else you got to say?
If you got nothing else to
Yeah,
say, then you can move on.
then if I take a comb, would the wig come off?
Show us your
Thank you. There you
forehead.
go.
Would the weave come off? Would the
Show us your
tracks come off?
forehead.
I can't. I don't have enough followers.
Show us your wrist and your palm. If you
So
does your wrist match your palm? Can you see
no.
the lines in your hand? Can you you see how you see my lines right here? Can you see your lines? Can you see your
Okay.
lips when your mouth are closed? Is your teeth more melanated than your skin?
Hey, let me see your gums. Let me see your gums. Open your mouth.
Look
He
at
just said all this
Okay.
shit and ain't
All right.
said
Pink as it
nothing.
gets. Why is your teeth more melanated than your gums? That's a serious question. If you fall asleep in the sun, will you wake up looking like a strawberry?
Bro, you kind of look like Kanye West, though. I fuck with you, man.
That's something only
I
white
like the
people have
vibe.
told me. I've never heard that from a black person. That's how I know
Never.
your forehead look like a mayonnaise jar. We're
Yep.
gonna move on
Whoa,
to the
whoa,
next
whoa.
guest, man. We're gonna move on.
This motherfucker. What was he asking me? Did a comb go through my weed?
I don't know what he talking about.
Oh Lord.
Shout out to Gunner for the Panther pause, though.
Thank you.
We need to move on because it's just gonna turn
Silly
into a
ass
roasting
rabbit.
session.
Silly rabbit tricks are for kids.
Right, he probably got some fake Jordans on right now. The white folks be having the craziest looking sneakers. Claude Berry, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
I'm 50 years old. I'm white.
All right, and your pronouns.
Him. I'm a he. I'm a male.
All right, talk to us.
Talk to me. What's up with this black African? What is that? I thought
What?
black was only like considered like melanated people in America.
What is
Like no African was calling themselves black before an American melanated man did it.
Okay, so since you're a historian, who were the first people to call themselves the color black?
What'd you say? Who were the first people?
Tell us about history then, because you seem like a historian, so you know who called who black and when that all began. So tell us about the beginnings of it.
I never said that.
Yes, you did. You just said that
I said
black
I was just
people.
wondering why you calling people like Africans black, like people from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
How did they become black?
I don't. You're the one telling me, so I'm
I
here to
was
learn
asking
from
you.
you.
I'm on here.
No.
I'm student.
Well, I'm just trying to understand why you would even ask that question. Like, what in your mind are African people? What are their race? What race are they? Are they Asian or like white? Do you think
They
Africans?
African. They from Africa.
Okay, and so what race are they?
They African, right?
So like, Africa's a continent, right?
Yeah. Africa is a continent.
Okay. And Europe is a continent too, right?
Right.
Okay.
But are Africans the same race as Negroes?
Dang, man, I really wanted to have this conversation with you, but I ain't gonna have no white man up here calling black people Negroes. We're gonna have to move on. Anyway, sound like he had a black person in the background too, talking to him. That was weird. We'll go to the next guest.
What the
F1 if
fuck
y'all
would
got
he
triggered
even
by that.
care?
Because
know.
you know why they care? For the same reason they out here. It's white people putting this pretending bullshit on the internet.
Right.
Because
Yup.
they're the ones they don't want us to associate ourselves with Africa because they
Right.
need to continue to pillage them for resources.
Right.
And they would have a bunch of insurgents on American soil if we saw ourselves as African. That'd be home security, domestic issue, you know? So anyway.
Oh my God.
B. Owen, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
I'm black. I'm 52 years old, and I'm a him, he.
Okay, your race?
I'm black, sir.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, talk to us.
All right. I just blew my. Do you get a lot of white people pretending they're black on this?
I have had some of the most weirdest white tea people come up here. I had one dude come up here and make squishy noises, you know, like he was doing something to himself. I've had all kinds of just weird music. One guy came up with like a helmet with a face on it, like a mask on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they out here.
All right, I came up here just to tell about. I was raised in the civil rights movement. My parents made sure I was highly informed before they let me go out in the street, and how I would be perceived and how to take care of myself. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm a Philly boy. I served in the Navy 6.5 years. They sent me. My parents gave me tried to give me the biggest diversity so I can prepare myself to deal with all races, all types of people, all religions, you know what I mean? But also having instilled pride of myself and be proud to be spawned from slavery, like to say that, so I won't feel like that's something bad, but know that struggle produce fruit. You know what I mean? That, that through our struggle, we became a people, a culture, ideal, and what we had to do within the civil rights movement to get to a position where every other race that came behind us are benefiting from a lot of the things we actually hung from trees from. You know what I mean? And how they tried to leapfrog us to get so close to the idea of whiteness. You know what I mean? And then demonized us. That focus of demonization. And you know what? I am raising and I'm raising children to have the pride of their melanation, and knowing that God made us beautiful and strong, and that the outside force is not to attack intelligence, to know that we are intelligent, and that black women are beautiful and in all shapes and sizes, and and don't deny yourself the ideas of connection towards your own people and your own culture. You know what I mean? And don't hide from it. Don't be ashamed of it, and to express that. And I led time periods in the military, and I also told them, don't be fooled by the okie doke. And I have my daughter. She got so involved with this pro-Palestine movement. And you know what? When in my youth, before I went into the military, I was very much a big activist. And I'm still an activist to the day. My activist card is not gone. I'm just 52 years old, and I'm not going to be out. I'm not going to put myself out no streets no more. If I'm not going to, if I can't run in the car, I'm not going to be in the back when I could get shot. I want to be, when time to run. You know what I mean? I'm not the fastest anymore, so I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I need to run. But I'm so proud of my daughter because she picked up a manner, but I told her, listen to these people, right? And don't let them say we. Don't sign on to all these we. Because they're gonna automatically think that you co-sign all their ideas, and you're gonna give up your life for them. And then you're gonna find yourself turning away from the people who would never turn their back on you. It's good to be compassionate towards people outside of the race. It's good to be compassionate toward people outside our country. It's good to have compassion. It's good to put your dollars behind them sometime. But I'd be damned I'm putting my life for them. I'd be because where were these people during the civil rights movement? When the hoses were placed on us? For 400 years, don't tell me that they might have not been called Palestinians, but guess what? There are people were around when we were over 400 years of slavery.
Over 1,000
years of slavery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And by the way, the colorism, I'm not somebody who just lived in this country. I've been to the Middle East. The colorism is real. Oh, they know they're people of color, but they associate themselves. The whiter they can be, the better they feel about themselves. And they might have some African guy with them saying, in their mosque with them, and they might love them, call them brother and all that other thing. But you know what? They don't truly accept that brother. Because they don't want to be as dark as he is. They don't think that's beautiful. They don't think he's beautiful. And they don't want that seed in their genetics.
Right.
Oh, they'll bring some, and the same thing with white people who was used to sit on our cause, right? We were all their brothers and sisters until the Vietnam War ended.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They were protesting with us. They were doing it. They were shaking Martin's hand. They were joining the Black Panthers and everything. And they said, let's get rid of the draft. Crickets.
Mm-hmm.
They were
Like I have some pro-Pally friends that were so into that, not their own people, and then they had their N-word wake-up call. Okay, and some of them turned on them and was saying they was N-words and they was this, and I'm like, well, you are saying N-word, you need to go sit down. But you know, we always have to get slapped upside the head before we see stuff for what it is, because I knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time. You know what I mean?
Israel.
So
I'm like, who said I'm pro-Israel? You know what I mean? Your tax money's going on. I have no say where my tax money goes. If I did have a say, that'd be something different. But guess what? Yo, don't put labels on me that are unjust. I'm good with the Jewish men. If they want to move to another country, I'm good with that too. But they're colonized. I was kidnapped. My people were kidnapped and enslaved. You know what I mean? So what's we didn't colonize shit. And in Africa, that's been colonized. Come on now. How many Arab people run around Africa? How many countries, how many languages Africa, you know, how many indigenous languages still exist in Africa? You know what I mean? Now, come on now. And I know Arabic is not, Arabic means Arab, Arabia. There's too many motherfuckers out there speaking Arabic.
It's the number one spoken language in Africa.
Oh, don't say Arabs are not colonizers. That's a colonizer. They're colonizing Britain right now. That's their home, man. That's their home. Britain is for Britain. I can't argue with that. It might sound racist as fuck, but that's their home. They're genetically combined. When you think of a British person, what do you think of, sir?
White folks.
Beans and fucking bread and like bad teeth and like drinking beer and like whatever that is, right?
The original cracker.
Yeah. And you know what? And then if they're complaining, they have a right. I think they have a right to complain. If you're talking about colonizing, you can see, you know, whatever. They don't have to open their. Who gives a fuck if they open their doors or not? That's Britain. And you want me to worry about that? When cops are shooting my people still in the streets and they try because she was moving a boiling pot of water, and that's just something filmed. They don't even know how many of our people die that's not being filmed.
Uncle, you gotta watch it with certain words on TikTok. You won't get me taken down.
Sorry, unalive.
Yeah.
Being filmed. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like, am I pro-Israel? If they want to live there, let them live there. If they don't want to, you know, that's their fight. You know what I mean? And if my daughter wanted to jump on that thing, that's her right to do so. I don't stop nobody from doing what they want to do. But I inform her, don't get too far in that raft, though. The people who care about you can't bring you back. You know what I mean? Why?
Yeah.
These people are saying, because all that we talk, we're going to do that. We're not going to vote. I'm like, you know how many people die for you to get a right to vote, period? You go give up your right to voice your opinion. You can drop your right if you don't want to. That's your decision, but don't let no one tell you. You know what I mean? Don't let nobody tell. And is Miss Harris a black woman? Can I make that judgment? Let me, as a black man, decide if that's a black woman or not. I'm not listening to an orange man tell me what the black woman is a black, you know, how she might dive in it. There's too many mixed people. We've been mixed forcefully, and we've been mixed voluntarily in this country. So whatever the product of that, if they want to identify and they're black and they want to identify the way they want to identify, no matter how much the mixture came out, so be it, in my opinion. She went to black universities. She went to black thing. She if she wasn't black, she damn well tried to identify. I mean, understand the black culture.
Okay.
Well, when she said she washed her greens in the tub, we knew she wasn't black right there. So anyway, brother,
Come on, she was raised by an Indian mom. Who else would teach you how to do greens? You know what I mean?
nobody.
Nobody. All right. Be on. We got a long list of people that want to come up here. Let me keep it moving along. Appreciate you. Have a good one.
All right. Peace.
All right. Peace. We gotta keep it moving. Don't forget to keep tapping like, y'all. We gotta get to 50K. Let's get to 50K likes. Keep tapping along. Share the live with somebody you know that knows marshmallows go on yams. You know, yeah. Tap like on the live if you eat macaroni and cheese with a fork and not a spoon. All right, we're gonna go to the next guest. Cynic, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
24, black, male. So,
all right, talk to us.
So I just seen the Maya video that you recently covered, and I wanted to ask, because this was my perspective. I felt like that conversation or that sentiment that she had was gonna be inevitable at some point.
Yeah.
Because if you pay attention, and that's why I always tell when I speak to people online or foreigners, if you want to see what U.S. agenda is, if you want to know their approach, you got to just look at Black history. Everything happens to us first. Right. Not only does it happen to us first, but it is accepted by the same people that will be oppressed in the future. And it's like no one sees that pattern. And I thought when we had the conversation, I thought it was going to be, okay, we ready to listen. I didn't ever foresee it was going to be, you are our enemy too. The only contribution, if you want to say that we technically got, is the tax money, which the gentleman before us said we have no control on. All we trying to do is just
That's not our money.
Build.
That's not our money.
Exactly. But it kind of confirms something else that I seen. Just her approach about it is the outside world not only chose to be ignorant, but they chose to side with the ideology of white, because I'm pretty sure y'all know white is not a race, it's an ideology. And that's how it can consume many people that look like us and they feel like they want to be a part of that whiteness. The Western propaganda has worked very well over the years. But the way that she had approached it kind of made it seem like if we were to be as rash as you say, and let's say unrealistically overthrow the government, y'all are going to turn y'all back on us immediately. And as soon, let's say we do have the upper hand, realistically, if we really want to think about it, that opens the way for the cartel, that opened the way for Russia, that opened the way for China to attack. If they choose to do so, unless they try to use, unless they try to sway us as well to, further try to overthrow something, which we know right now we are not in a position of. And I'm more of on the ideology of Malcolm. I'm just now getting into him, just now learning about him. I'm more of, trying to handle the peaceful way, but at the same time, I do acknowledge you could just see over near every election, things like Sonia Massey, the occurrence like Sonia Massey. We all know that happens every year, but it only is broadcasted for the agenda. It's only broadcasted worldwide when they want to use it for a talking point to get your vote. If we keep being peaceful, I feel like we are assimilating. I'm not saying we should do anything like LA riots, but I feel like we just constantly getting divided. A lot of us, and I struggle with this myself, have debated, stop trying to preach, stop trying to take a different route, stop trying to feel like there's hope in our people because we are so divided. But I didn't realize in the 60s we had more of a community than we had now, and we can actually get back to that. Like the peak of our race was not Black Wall Street. The peak of our race was when we start to become would the proper word be revolutionists?
Revolutionary?
Revolutionary?
Yeah.
When we gave them a reason to feel threatened and take us out. So what, 1960, 1962, and then the following, that's when the crack epidemic hit. And all of a sudden we start to get to where we were today.
And feminism. Yeah, that did a number on us.
And I still need to look more into that on how that affect us specifically.
Gloria Steinem.
Gloria Steinem?
Yeah, she was paid by the CIA to infiltrate the Black Panther Party.
Oh, okay. I see. I haven't looked into that one yet, but I have heard about that. So my thing was, because the people that, you know, the Maya and the other girls, I actually wanted to have a conversation with them to get them to understand. But it seems like a lot of people that have responded in a way that I would as well, to get them to see the picture that it's not that our power is limited, but our responsibility is, we got a lot of responsibility on the terms of getting back what was taken from us and just trying to find a way to live in this society.
It starts with identity.
Identity.
Yeah, this is what Dr. Barbara Sizemore says. It starts with identity. We have to identify ourselves as Africans first. We have to identify. Black will tell you how you look, but it don't tell you who you are. In all historical texts and books and going back to the beginnings of mankind, people have always been called by their land, their history, or their culture, never a color. Color was something created by Europeans. So, yes, in our oppression, Black is a political revolutionary term, and we need to be proud to be Black.
Right.
However, our identity, our true identity, when we are all together, is Africans. We're African people. Once we realize that, and we stop saying, well, I'm not just African, I'm LGBT, so I have this other community that I can, or I'm not just one of you guys, I'm pro-Palestine, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I'm a man first, I'm red pill, I'm a woman, I'm a feminist, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Like, we got all that. Some people say I'm not melanated, some people say I'm no Black, I'm Dominican, I'm not Black, I'm biracial. These are all identity crises. Why is all this happening? Because our identity was stolen from us when we were brought here from Africa. And so if we can all, this is the only option. It's either this or we perish. And that's why people say, you'll hear them say Pan-Africanism or perish. If we could all just identify as African first, identify as African, you can do all that other stuff you want. Pray to whoever you want to, vote for whoever, all that other stuff is cool. African. Then we will start to create a culture around that identity. Now, that's something all people groups have done. When they created an identity for themselves, they then start to have a culture based around protecting that identity. Black culture, as we know it today, does not protect Black people. It tells us to abuse and mistreat our women. It tells our women to preference a fast car and long fingernails and getting your nails done over being with a Black man. It separates our family structure. It tells brothers to pew pew at each other instead of their oppressor. And the reason for this is because the culture that we've been given in replacement of the culture that once protected us, African culture, now we're being given a culture. These labels are owned by our oppressors. So when we start to identify as African, we will then start to curate a culture built around protecting Africans. Once we start to have a culture of protecting Africans in our community, it's going to be in our music. Our music is going to be "Don't Sleep with Seeky Snow Bunnies." You know,
Right.
we're gonna make little songs.
Right.
Africa Unite. You know, Bob Marley. You know, we're gonna
Exactly.
start to make that's the culture starting to protect itself, and then we reach nationalism. Once we reach nationalism, we now have a political agenda based in the culture, based in the identity of people who know who they are, and then we will start to empower ourselves. And that's the only way other oppressed groups, as long as we can go back in history, have done it. So
Most definitely.
that's the plan. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely noticed the biggest thing against us is labels.
Labels. Mm-hmm.
And that is something that the white man created, not just for us, but to get them a sense of culture. But you see it more in media today. What you should be, what you shouldn't be, what should be frowned upon against, what shouldn't be frowned upon against. And people are buying into that. And their game plan is obviously make you forget, make you assimilate.
Mm-hmm.
If you getting too above us, we got to take you out. Because you're going to forget a few generations. Like, I don't see when documents get leaked by the CIA alone, that's not always just to getting leaked. That's them playing in your face like you're not going to do anything about it. It happened long ago. You people don't have no connection to this. And that's why you can see patterns. Like, I'm not about to get too much into stuff because I don't want your platform.
Yeah, you gonna get just be careful with the CIA.
Just know I'm a little educated.
I hear you.
Even without being educated, just anyone who listening, like I said, if you want to know what's going to happen on foreign land, you need to study Black history. Not only that, if you want to understand what's going on in our land, you need to understand Black history, and you need to pay attention to what the white man said their reasons were. You need to see what they had to gain out of it. There's a lot of things that didn't happen that could have happened on our soil for the purpose of passing a bill that would have further oppressed us. Just look into why Homeland Security became a thing. I'm gonna just say that.
Absolutely.
And then compare that to COVID. There's patterns.
We also need to look at what our oppressor celebrates, like what our oppressor is, what liberation front our oppressor is willing to endorse. It has never been beneficial when your enemy is like, yeah, I like when you do that. You know what I'm saying? For example, if a woman says, I'm a Black woman, they're like, okay. And then she says, I am a feminist Black woman. The white women, yes, sister. I'm a Black man. Okay. I'm a gay Black man. Yes. Then they all coming around. You see what I'm saying? Like, whenever we take on any identity that is not directly tied to the liberation of African people, then you will see white people come around and celebrate that thing. And that's when you need to be a little bit cautious.
Right.
Yeah.
That's definitely insightful.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let me go to the next guest. Appreciate you, Sonny.
Appreciate you.
All right. Happy Bear, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
All right, 39. Race, Caribbean nations, mixed with a ton of stuff, bro. Pronouns. My Indian name is Smoking Bear. I just put Happy Bear because people was kind of messing it up, Smoking Bear, but like we got a lot of knowledge and everything. So my dad island nation is a Dominica Commonwealth.
Man, y'all don't know what race y'all are. Don't come up here. I keep trying to tell y'all. Don't come up here. You don't know what race you are. We gotta know your race. We talking about race. I know some of y'all don't know. Ooh, Tony, you got a lot of music. Tony, are you there? I don't think he's supposed to be up here. He sound like he in the middle of the function right now. He ain't supposed to be up here right now. Sensei KJ, are you here? Sensei, you are loading. All right, I guess I'll go to the next guest. Gary Clark, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
31.
Oh, coffee mug.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Give us your
All right,
age,
cool.
race, and pronouns.
I'm 31. I'm white, and I'm a guy. I'm a he.
All right, talk to us.
So anyway, man, I mean, I don't really get into the whole racial thing. I mean, I understand, the the slavery and all that stuff did happen. I'm not opposed to it, and if I'm wrong about something, don't belittle me, educate me. You know what I mean? Uh, so my thing about it is like when y'all saying whitey, I imagine you guys are talking about politics and all this and that. Y'all ain't saying talking about the normal white guy because I mean hell, I'm struggling too. You know what I mean?
Why are you struggling?
Oh, this economy is killing everybody right now, buddy.
Do you think the economy is also unaliving black people?
No, I believe there's a lot of mixture in that. There's blacks killing whites, whites killing blacks, blacks killing blacks, whites killing
You
whites.
have to stay. You have to stop saying the K word, Gary. If you don't have the vocabulary, we're on TikTok. You cannot say this person
Oh, I
like
got you on a
you
live.
cannot.
Yeah,
You
my
gotta
bad.
talk like a Teletubby on here, please. If you want
I
to stay up here.
apologize. I
Okay.
apologize about that. So I believe there's a lot of people unalive and a lot of people.
I'm talking about capitalism, though. I can't say the K word, and you said capitalism is unaliving you. So I'm saying, do you feel like it is unaliving black people? Not literally in the literal sense unaliving us, but unaliving our wallets.
Yes.
Okay. So do you think how capitalism oppresses you makes you black?
No.
Okay. So why did you bring that up?
Well, I was just trying to insinuate that I was just trying to, I guess the best way I can say it is I was trying to get at who was, because I mean, we all have our different cultures, I guess you could say. I'm not sure on how to properly pronounce everything on this because this is my first time really going into one of these things.
Okay. What is your culture?
I'm white. My family comes from Germany.
So do you like I don't know, do you eat sauerkraut with everything?
No, absolutely not.
Like what German culture do you participate, like what part of German culture do you participate in?
We go to. I don't drink, so I don't participate in much German culture at all.
Okay. But you said, so do you think white is a culture?
No, I believe we're all human.
I know.
I'm
I
just
mean,
trying to get
yeah,
what you.
humans have cultures. I know you're not a squirrel, but I'm saying, what culture do you participate in that is part of your ethnic group? Not your race, but you
I
said your culture.
don't I don't participate in anything, buddy. I go to work and I go home. That's all I do. I was just trying to see where you guys, because I've been watching your live for a minute, and I'm happy you guys are proud of what you are, but I feel like that here. I feel like that it's I feel like it's a lot of hate whitey for credit. You know what I mean?
Do you think that black people feel resentment towards white people?
No,
Do you
I
think
don't.
I do?
No, I really don't.
Okay.
I
So
just
then,
feel
so
like
then, why do you say that? Why would someone make a live to just hate Whitey for credit?
well, because I mean, just from what I've been hearing on your live that I've been listening to for a little while, it just seems like that. It's the what do you say, oppressors,
Hmm.
and you're like, oh well, the oppressors, and I do. I mean, I'm sort of a history buff, but I'm not all that big on it. But what I mean is like I don't really know how to say it without because I'm
So,
trying to watch how I
so
speak.
when we're talking about white people, if you think oppressor is the wrong term to use?
No, absolutely no. What I mean is, I feel like they. I just want to make a. I don't know, man. What I'm trying to get at is every other word is like whitey this or whitey that. It's like I've never did anything. I don't know what I mean. I just trying to make an extenuation between them and us. You know what I mean? It ain't like I did anything. And so I don't know. I really don't know how to. I guess I waste your time because I really don't know how to talk on TikTok. I don't know how to speak without. I don't want to get you in canceled or get your live canceled or nothing. So I don't know how to speak on that. So
Okay. Do you consider yourself a racist?
no,
Why not?
I mean, because I don't hate people. I'm happy for everyone.
Do you believe black people can be racist?
Do I believe black people can be racist?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I believe every race has some in it that's racist. I mean, that's. I know white people have plenty of racist people in it. I know black people. I know a few black guys that's pretty racist.
Okay.
But I mean,
And so, how has white racism adversely affected the lives of black people? Can you think of anything?
oh yeah, it goes back centuries to the introduction of. Well, I don't
Well, just think of one example.
know. We could go towards. Let's see. We could go as far as back in what the. How would you say K? The three Ks, I guess you
Yeah,
could say.
triple Ks. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, you go to them.
Okay.
They affected people, man. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
I think that's a bit. I'm talking about just in regular society. Would you say black people are more likely to get pulled over by police?
Uh, yeah, I'd say so. Yes.
Okay. Now, how has uh, black racism adversely affected the lives of white people?
Well, when I was let's see, we'll go back 15 years. Uh, I was dating a young lady. Her name was Courtney, and her father was African American, and he was pretty upset about her dating a white guy.
So you would say that
I
he
was
was upset.
disapproving.
He was upset because you were white.
Well, yeah, pretty much what he told me.
Do you remember when you said, there were hundreds of years in the triple K and all of that? Do you think that might have been the reason why he said that? Or do you think it was just the pinkness of your skin just triggered a emotional response in him?
Well, you could say that, but the way you could say that, I guess you can. But when you go back 100 years, you can't preach change or this, that, and the other, and I I don't know really how to say it. I don't want to get canceled, but it's like more like you can't. I mean, but being that all that stuff happened, I'm not saying forget it. I'm not saying that by no means. But what's a 15-year-old kid have to do with that? That has no idea about any of that. You know what I mean?
I see.
Is that the best way to say that? I don't know.
Okay. No, that's fine. So, are you in a relationship with a black person?
No,
Do you
not
date
anymore.
black
Her
people?
dad pretty much ended that.
I'm sorry?
And so,
You're breaking up.
but not anymore. I've been with my wife for quite a while now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I've
So,
dated. Yeah, there you go. But no, I've been married to my wife for quite a while now.
okay. So, I want to ask you an impossible question that is impossible to answer correctly. And just know that we're not going to judge you. No one here is going to judge you for your answer because it's an impossible to answer question. There's no right or wrong with this question, okay? But it's something I like to ask. So let's
Okay.
there's two buttons in a room, right? And not you, but all the white people you know, all the family members and friends you know get together and they have to come up with a choice. They have to vote and come up with a choice of which button they want to push. One button will make all the black men in the world disappear painlessly. No pain, no nothing. It'll be like they never existed. And then there's another button that makes all the black women in the world disappear painlessly like they never existed. If your white friends and family had to vote, which button do you think they would choose?
Probably neither.
They have to
'Cause at the
choose
end of
one. They have to choose one. I mean, I hear you. In a realistic scenario, they would, choose neither. But I'm saying, I know this is an impossible question. No one's going to judge you. So don't feel like saying this means you're, but we're not even talking about you. I'm asking you to tell us what your people would think, what your friends and family. If they were to do what would be in the most best interest of them, right? Would they press a button to make all the black men disappear? Or would they press a button and if you press the button to make all black men disappear, then there's no more black men, but there's plenty of black women still here. Or you press a button to make the black women disappear, and now all the black men get to stay on Earth. Which button do you think your friends or family would choose?
I'm gonna say neither, man, because at the end of the day, my people were brought up to treat everybody as equal. You know what I mean? We wouldn't.
They gotta choose a button,
I couldn't.
Gary.
I couldn't choose
Don't
that.
be a Gary. They gotta choose a button.
I couldn't choose a button, buddy. That would be that's something I couldn't do.
You're too scared.
I don't
It's
know,
okay,
but I can't
Gary.
speak.
All right,
No, I
Gary.
ain't scared. It's more along the lines of. I mean, that is like you said. It's an impossible question to answer. Why would you want to?
It's an impossible question
whole...
it's an impossible question to answer when you're afraid of backlash or what people are going to think. I just wanted to hear your response.
Think.
I wanted you to be honest with me, Gary. But
I'm
it's
being
okay.
honest with you, buddy. I was brought up to treat everybody as an equal. Last thing I'm going to do is
what the hell does that have to do with the
unalive a lot of people.
question? The question is not about
Because
equality. The question is not even about equality, bro. What?
I wouldn't push a button. I mean, I think that would be. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, that's a terrible situation.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. You're judging the answer before you even gave it, so it's okay. All right, I'll move on to the next guys.
All right, enjoy your night.
You're no help. We want to know what white people think when we are not around. That is the only constructive conversation we can have with our oppressor. We want them to come up and be honest. In the context of racism, white supremacy, a white liar is a violent terrorist. We must be mindful of that. Anyone that is whitey and willing to lie to black people in the context of racism, white supremacy is a threat. Always remember that. Lying is a form of violence in the context of white supremacy. All right, because he was lying. He's lying. He know what button them people would pick. I'm not going to say it for him, but I've asked this question multiple times, and usually the answer is black men. That's usually the answer that they choose. It's much more convenient to live in a world where black women are still here. But I'll let someone else come up and talk about it. Young 249, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Hi, hello, good evening or good morning. Excuse all of the people in the live that my English is a little bit bad. So my name is Sari Hussein Ammar. I'm from Sudan. That's the country that's having a war since 1 year and 5 months, I think so. So yes, hi.
Yes, what is your race?
I'm African Sudanese.
All right, talk to us.
First of all, I want to describe or talk about the ideas that I have in my mind for the Black Americans that live in the United States. So, and I have like a little bit of advice, and I hope everyone can understand me like very well. So, I am a Muslim, and that's my religion, but I have a different belief on a very high scale for the blacks all around the world, the global. So I have a little bit of advice. Religion is not a big deal or a big thing to put it in your personality. So as we have in Islam that says that an Islamic state or a Christian state, who's better for the God in Islam? If the Christian state treats the people with fair, that doesn't pick up the white or the black higher than the other colored people. So if the Islamic state does that, so the Christian state is more fair and more good than the Islamic state. So it doesn't have any connection to being bad as a religion. So any state that is doing bad things, it's a bad state or wrong state, a failed state. So it doesn't have to be Islamic or Jewish or Christian or any religion state. So first of all, for all the blacks on global scale, I'm specifically targeting the higher scale of blacks, the ones who are educated and high ranks in mean that they have high money in their bank account, that they have a good sense of understanding and moving among the society. So what I'm trying to say that for all the blacks, I hope and to put this in the mind that as a black person on a global stage in 2024, all the countries, all the states that has a ruling black power, if it's Islamic or a Christian or any state that has a black ruler, it's a failed state right now. If it's a Nigerian state or Ethiopia. So I'm talking about Nigeria and Ethiopia. Why I chose that? Because they are the most technological and stable states right now. Both of them have a very, very failed small states among the country. So Nigeria have like a lot of poor people, even Ethiopia have a lot of poor people. Why? Because that's a game that's happening now in the global world. So on the global scale, United States is failing, but the black Americans have a good opportunity for the next future. They can be the man between the line for connecting and describing the blacks, how they can interact with the USA or the United States. Because if that's not happening, China is going full on the continent of Africa, the continent of the blacks. So if United States failed, the blacks can return this relationship with United States and Africa. How can that be? That can be that all the blacks in the United States go ahead and read some books, educate themselves about how to think and move between societies, and also read books about money and the books about banks, any books that's speaking or talking about economy.
Are you saying
So
we're stupid?
No.
So then why are you telling us to be educated?
In fact, the blacks in the United States are more educated than any black in any continent or country. So I'm sorry if you think that I'm attacking you in any way.
Okay.
Do you understand me till now?
Well, what education is our oppressor going to give us that will liberate us?
No, actually, the oppressor doesn't have any connection to you to be educated because
So
blacks
where
should
so where
treat
should we get this education?
from books. You have internet now, you have websites, you have the library nearby you, I think so.
Okay.
So,
And so you're saying we need to study money
and economy,
and the
money and
economy.
economy.
Do you think black people don't already study the money and the economy?
The blacks in the United States have the more hand to reach on a global scale because Africa is so tight with the ruling class that's slave-minded to the white man in the European continent. So, yes, the black people in the United States have the most opportunity to have a global power by reach,
How?
weapons and money,
Weapons?
and money.
So you think our oppressor will allow us to manufacture weapons right here in their living room?
No, but you can be in the United States Army. So yeah, I think so.
Almost anyone can be in the United States Army. I know
So yeah,
Liberians that are in the United States Army.
excuse me, but did you see the last thing that was told by United States General, the highest rank for the Biden administration camp? What said in the Middle East?
No? What do you say?
He said that any power in the Middle East will try to attack Israel, they will be wiped out of the map. So he's black.
Okay.
So blacks in the United States have a high rank in the military. I'm not talking about the Caribbean people
And who do
or
you
the
think they work
Japanese.
for? Who does that person you just said
The white
answer?
German in the United States, he's the ruling class in America. Yes.
Okay, so then if that's the case, how is that a black person in a position of power and not a position of subordinates?
Because if you, a person of color who reached that high rank in power and a global rank, yes, black people can move ahead in future. So I think so.
So then why doesn't he just liberate Africa? Why do you think he won't do that?
Barack Obama, he did bad things in Iraq, but he did a lot of good things in Africa.
Like Gaddafi?
Gaddafi mission was firstly upheaded by France, not United States. So who pushed the idea of attacking Libya is France, not United States. Who
But
did
the
that?
United States was right there and helping execute it.
Yeah, but if you read the African continent map, the African like large-scale campaign is Libya and Algeria and Morocco and Mali, and that's all the base. The basis was in African continent, those three or four countries. So Libya at that time was a big threat to France to
The
lose
only
power in
black
those
people,
countries.
the only black people that make it to the highest rungs of power are the ones that get permission from our oppressor. So when you say that they have an opportunity to liberate themselves, I'm telling you, the liberators don't end up with power because the oppressor is the one who gives permission to give power. So, do you see the paradox here?
I understand what did you say, but I can make the idea more close to you. Like, how is Nigeria a failed state, or how is Ethiopia? I'm talking about 2 million blacks or African blacks who live in a continent and have a powerful country. So Ethiopia and Nigeria, why is it a failed state? Because
Because
the enemy comes from inside the house. If you
that's
are
not
a
why.
father of 5 children and one of them is bad, all the family will be affected of this bad behavior. So this bad boy who's going outside and reaching for drugs, he bring it inside the house. So all the family will be destroyed or disrupted. I hope you understand me.
Do you know how neocolonialism works?
Yeah, by proxy war or proxy contracts.
Okay. So you understand that black people can be a proxy in a war against themselves in Nigeria.
Of course, it's all over the black continent.
And the only reason Nigeria is a powerful country is the same reason that Barack Obama was made president. Because the only ones that get power are the ones that are given power by the oppressor. Nigeria has oil that the oppressor wants. So they give certain people power in order to keep the oil prices low, and those people continue to make the government corrupt and move against the best interests of liberating Africans. So at the end of the day, once again, having white power is not going to liberate black people. Black power doesn't start in America. Black power starts in Africa. When we begin to not just be people that are thriving in a Eurocentric, westernized capitalist system, but instead become the producers of our own capital, backed by land, resources, and labor that we ourselves own. Black people in America don't have land unless our oppressor gives it to us. Black people in America don't have labor unless our oppressor gives us a job. And we don't have resources unless we're talking about our bodies. So Africans, however, have over $143 trillion worth of resources in their land. So I would say if anyone was in a unique position to have a worldwide effect on liberating black people, it would be the Africans.
You are very true in many different ways of what you just said now. But for me, like, I'm trying to give you a hand because I
Look
think
at Sudan. Look at Sudan. Look at what's going on in Sudan. The way the West and the Russians are having their proxy war from the government instability in Sudan, and the reason that they want to keep chaos there is because they want to benefit from taking the resources. You know, it's the same thing.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, for us in the continent, it's very hard to get a weapon to face a large elephant.
Yeah.
So for us, Sudan, we've been fighting like since we've been fighting this proxy war since the 50s. So since Sudan have the revelation from the British Egyptian rule, so when we kicked them, the proxy wars started back then. Who've told the South Sudanese that look at those who are controlling the country, they're Arabs, they're Muslims. That's how the proxy war started. So now they got South Sudan and Sudan like cut it on a half. So now what's going on in South Sudan that all the 80% of the oil is in South Sudan, but only 100,000 South Sudanese who are related to the government officials are getting the money. So now Sudan is getting like on the last breath. So they're now so close to cut west of Sudan. So Sudan is going to be now 3 countries. We were the biggest in Africa, if you know that.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to fight a global power if you see it in this way. Like if you try to look deeply in the continent.
Yes, but as hard as it is, as hard as it may seem, we here are in a more disadvantaged position than the brothers and sisters in Africa because we don't have the land, the resources. We don't even have the culture. We don't even have the identity, the shared identity and community. So I hear you. So it's just the thing is, it may not be Sudan, may not be Nigeria. Maybe it'll be the AES in Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. Maybe it'll be South Africa, where white people only make up 7% of the country. But we in the United States live with the largest white population to have ever existed on the planet Earth. 200 million white people live here, more than in Europe. They don't just give us power freely. We have to beg for it. And when we do that, they wield the power that they give us as a coercion tool to make sure that we continue to align with what's in their best interest and not to do anything against the best interests of those 200 million. But
Yeah, but lastly, I only have 1 minute to talk about. So, did you hear about Chicago in the late 50s and 60s and the 70s and how it was destroyed?
in what way? Tell me about it.
I think it's called the drug war.
That was like the 70s and
Yes.
80s. Yeah.
In that time, or you can go and search about black people in Chicago at that time. I hope that you know about them, but if you don't, I read a little bit, and they were going so far in process. The blacks in America, in the United States, specifically in Chicago.
So what do you mean? Why do you bring this up?
Because the war on drugs was mainly to destroy the blacks in Chicago. If you hear about that, or if you read about that.
Yes, we know.
So yeah, blacks in some day or in the past, they had a big process or a big hand in some power places in the United States. So I think that can be back again in the future.
That what? I know what you mean. The war on drugs was led by white people.
Yeah, I mean that the war on drugs was mainly to destroy the blacks. So yeah,
And it worked. So what do you mean?
I mean that black people in that time in history were very educated and very united, and less like today, I think so. So yeah, thank you.
Okay. I don't know. I'm confused. It's all right. Let someone else up.
I need a cocktail. I'm gonna become an alcoholic being on your show.
Man, I didn't know. Listen, man, I'm glad I be looking up geopolitical news so people can't sway me left and right just with
Right.
anything.